Hey everybody, I am going to share with you an interview that was done by my good friend Miles Beckler when I visited his place just recently, and I'm breaking it down into separate questions, some of the highlights from a very long interview that we did, and I want to be able to share those things with you. This video is about how to be productive. The way I go about helping my clients find more time so they can learn how to run their company instead of having their company run them. Check it out.
3 people asked this one about routines, personal habits, and even affirmations. I mashed this up on my own. Tim, what do you think my average day should look like as a bootstrapped agency entrepreneur? Someone who's trying to get to that 10 to 30 grand a month. What should my day be? Like a routine, like what's a routine to where they could be like, okay, I'm kind of on that, or I'm totally doing the wrong stuff every day.
Do you want me to give you my truthful answer or the motivational answer?
Both. I think we need both at this point.
Right. The one that is gonna be a lie is that you get you all hyped up that you can just work 4 hours a day and that's all it's gonna take.
Run a Facebook ad, had a funnel, and voila, that's it.
I literally had this conversation yesterday evening with one of my clients who's in Australia, and I said, you need to be putting in 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
And he's already doing 100,000 a month.
Right.
But he's got these particular goals he's trying to achieve.
Right.
Like, you got to come back to this business as if you're a startup.
Hungry.
You got to want it.
Right.
Right. So that, I don't care what your routines are, what your affirmations are. If you don't show up first thing in the morning, pop up out of bed and get right to work and then fall into bed exhausted at night, you're going to have a hard time building a business.
So literally it is just like brute force Viking approach. Just put in the work. You'll figure out your routines over time. Within that framework though, there has to be like we already said, selling is the most important thing. So if we think of it as like a row of dominoes and like getting the check is that last domino, reverse engineering the dominoes. Well, you'll need to make a proposal. Well, how do I get them to ask for a proposal? Well, I did a one-on-one phone consultation with them. Well, how did I get the one-on-one phone consultation with them? Well, I got out in my local area and I met them and I marketed them, or they came to my meetup group, and then, well, how did I get them to my meetup group? Well, I got a Facebook group that I'm going, well, how do I get them to the Facebook group? Well, I've been publishing to my YouTube channel every day and my blog every day.
Okay.
18 hours equally applied.
Okay. So
is there one step in there that it all hinges on, like that phone call? Like that's the thing, is just how do you get the phone calls and the calendar books out? Or
the reason I say 18 hours, because I don't actually think you have to work that many hours. But when you don't know what you're doing, the more hours you can just throw at learning the problem,
right,
the more hours you can just throw at learning all these things. Because the things you just listed off, they're all hard.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Well, each one of them, they're complex too.
Each one. Each
Yeah.
one of those items. And now you got to learn how to turn that into a system.
Right.
Every day doing that system.
So you have to literally go be really bad at all of those little things. And it's going to take 3 to 4 times as much time as it will when you're good at them. But you have to do them all for months and months and months on end with 18-hour days to get even like a bare minimum of competence before you're like competent, not even good at it. I'm just saying like you can actually, you know what you're supposed to do and it's worked once or twice, and there is no, I mean, it's just
there's
apply
no
the
shortcut.
time. There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
Just
so, but I don't want you to get demotivated. Okay, it's going to be months and months of you putting in a lot of hours. You might even be working a job and then needing to do 6 hours at night, right?
Yep.
You might be in that situation. So, okay, 6 hours a night. That's not 18 hours. So instead of taking 3 months, it might take 9 months.
right.
But that doesn't mean you're not going to make any money between now and then. Because one of the beauties, one of the biggest things about service businesses of any kind is you can make money today.
Fast. One sale, one deal, one handshake, check comes in, you just made money.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no setting up a website. There's no getting business cards.
Right.
There's nothing. It's you talking to another human being and getting them to say yes and handing you money.
And a lot of people put so many things in between that. And that's why I'm such a proponent on like, go meet the business owners in your area, shake the hands. None of the outreach teams in India or the Philippines can do that, right? They can't go sit down with coffee with a local business owner. It's like one of those, it's the shortcut to building the relationship is shaking hands, being honest, and sitting down with them and going and helping with them.
Okay, so back to actually what you should do. So Miles gave you a great rundown from like the end goal all the way back. Go back, play that section again, okay? But this part is how do you block out your day? Because one of the biggest things, because we all have just 24 hours max, and a lot of stuff takes up hours that we just can't give up, right? You've got to spend time with your kids. You've got to go to work if you're still in a job. You've got to do all these different things. So you have to be crazy disciplined. You have to live out of your calendar. For the people who are like cringing at that right now, who feel like, well, I'm a creative, right? Well, I am a creative too. Look at me, right? I like my outer appearance is even to be creative. So I am a creative, but I live out of my calendar. So what you're going to do is, and I do this with every single one of my clients, when they need to do sales, we block 3 hours a day. And it comes down to these three things in those 3 hours. The first hour is outreach. If you don't have leads, then you spend an hour reaching out to as many people as you possibly can in that hour.
And I'll real quick tip on that, like there's Monta, it's like monta.org, which is just like a giant business directory listing. You can use Google to find all of the businesses in your space. You can go to their websites, you can find their email addresses. Like if you don't know anybody, you need to go forge relationships. You need, like, cold outreach is an opportunity, and it's a hashtag do the work. So that's the bare minimum. Also go meet people.
Right. Go meet people. That's outreach and everything. Right. So that's that 1 hour. The very next hour is sales calls. This is where you're actually speaking to a human being. And here is the beauty of sales calls. One sales conversation per day, 5 days a week, will build $1 million a year agency.
Boom.
If you're not hitting one sales conversation a day, then that should be your goal, because it will build $1 million a year agency just from one sales conversation. And then in time, that sales conversation, you'll have 5 of them, a minimum of 5 in a week. If you're not getting that, you have to get to that. So you're going to do 1 hour. That's going to be a minimum of 1 hour dedicated to sales calls. The third hour in this 3 hour block is follow-up. Everyone that you've ever contacted, everyone that you've ever spoken to, you spend an hour doing follow-up. You're done. Okay? So sometimes you can get all your, if you have plenty of leads, then you may not spend the entire hour on outreach, that first hour. Maybe you've got 3 or 4 phone calls that you have to do. Well, you can't do an hour, right? So now I've got to have 4 sales conversations. That might take anywhere from 2 to 5 hours right there. So we're flexible on that. And then, but follow-up may take more than an hour. Well, then give it more than an hour if you've got a lot of people to follow up with. But after a while, you'll start developing a good rhythm, and you'll find that 3 hours a day dedicated to these sales activities will build you a strong business.
That's awesome. And, for people who are just getting started, you just like, okay, I don't have any sales calls today because I haven't done any of the prospecting work. Great. Double up on that, right? Like you just
3 hours of outreach.
You flexibilate them. You swap the time as you need to, based on where you're at right now. But really focus on those hours on the phone with individuals who A, you haven't talked to before. That's the prospecting side. And B, people you've already talked to. That's the follow-up side. You need to be presenting essentially offers to people and doing sales calls.
Hey, thanks for watching, and definitely go check out Miles' channel. Miles is a good friend of mine. He is someone I explicitly trust when it comes to doing business online. If you are wanting to learn all the online marketing skills to grow your business, whether it be an agency, a consultancy, a B2B service, Or if you're wanting to get into e-commerce or get into a niche market, get into any other form of online marketing, then go check out Miles' channel. You can find the link below, and thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, do all the socials, and I'll see you in the next video.